Welcome to Chatbots Behaving Badly Season 2. We took a summer break and, unlike certain language models, we actually remember that we took a break. And now we're back with new episodes, new scandals, and yes, even more digital nonsense to unpack. Today's topic, that lovely moment when your AI assistant confidently gives you a completely false answer, you correct it, it apologizes sweetly, and then it hallucinates even harder. Yeah, that moment. Let's talk about why chatbots can't take criticism, why they spiral instead of fixing themselves, and why, no matter how wrong they are, they still insist on giving you an answer. It's not ego, it's not pride, it's just code. And yes, it's bad code. Let's dig in. If you've ever tried to debug code with a chatbot, say Claude, you've probably been through this sequence. You ask a question, you get a polite, helpful-sounding answer. You try it, it doesn't work. You explain that it's wrong, and what happens? The chatbot apologizes, then it generates another answer, which is also wrong, or worse, completely made up. By round 3, you're in a loop. The AI is flailing. You're furious, and the hallucinations are getting more elaborate with every message. You're thinking, why is it doing this? Why doesn't it just admit it doesn't know? Or stop talking? Or go back a step? Short answer, because it can't. Longer answer? That's this episode. Language models like GPT-4, Claude, Mistral, they all share the same basic DNA. They're trained to predict the next most likely word based on the words that came before. That's it. They're not trained to know things. They're not trained to stop and reflect. They are trained over billions of examples to just keep talking. There's no internal button for, hang on, let me back up. No red light flashing when they start guessing. No shame circuit, just a fire hose of statistically probable text. So when you ask something they don't actually know, they make it up. And the more fluent the model, the more convincing that made-up answer sounds. This is what researchers call hallucination. But I prefer a more honest term, confident nonsense. So why doesn't the chatbot just say, I don't know? Great question. One reason, during training, it was never taught that I don't know is a good answer. Remember, these models are trained on the internet, and the internet always has an opinion, even if it's wrong, especially if it's wrong. So the model learns to always respond, even if it has to bluff. Now, you might think developers could just program in some rules. If you're not sure, say you're not sure. They tried. They tried instruction tuning. They tried reinforcement learning. They added warnings. They tweaked system prompts. But the truth is, unless a model has an actual sense of uncertainty, those rules don't stick. Why? Because chatbots don't know when they don't know. They don't have a truth meter. They don't have a memory of past mistakes. They don't know the boundary between fact and fiction. They just generate text that sounds plausible. Let's take it further. Say you catch the mistake. You correct the model. Now what? Ideally, it should backtrack, maybe revisit its logic, or at the very least try a different approach. But that's not what happens. Instead, it gives you another confident answer, built on the same bad logic. Because the model doesn't go back, it can't. The architecture behind these models is linear, token by token. Once a response starts generating, it just keeps going. No real-time revision, no internal editing pass. It doesn't see the hole it just dug, it decorates it. You're trying to fix a bug. The model is composing a novel. Okay, so why was it built this way? Honestly, a mix of technical limits and business incentives. Fluency sells, helpfulness sells, uncertainty, not so much. AI companies train these models to sound smart, not to act humble. Early tuning systems rewarded complete answers, not caution. In user testing, people preferred a bad answer over no answer at all. So the model learned to give one. Every time. And if that meant lying with a smile, so be it. This is how we got here. Chatbots that are fluent, friendly, and full of it. But let's be fair. Not all is lost. Researchers are now working on ways to fix this behavior. Some models are being trained with refusal-aware tuning, which means they're finally allowed to say, "I don't know." Others are using special IDK tokens to flag uncertainty. There are experiments with verifier models, little AI editors that critique the first model's answers. Some companies are bolting on retrieval systems so the AI looks things up instead of guessing. There's even work on self-correcting chains of thought, where the model tries to verify each step of its logic instead of hallucinating a monologue. But these solutions are still early, and they're not mainstream in the chatbots you're using today. So if you're out there trying to do serious work with one of these assistants, whether you're coding, writing, or solving a complex problem, you need to know what you're dealing with. It's not a research partner. It's a confident improv artist with no off switch. And no, it still doesn't know how wrong it is. So what can you do about it? Well, for now, the best defense is awareness. Know that the chatbot is doing its best to be useful, but that usefulness might just be performance. Don't take the first answer. Ask for evidence, challenge it, and if it spirals, you have full permission to close the tab and walk away. This was Sorry Again, Why Chatbots Can't Take Criticism and Just Make Things Worse. The Season 2 kickoff of Chatbots Behaving Badly. Written by Marcus Brinsa, narrated by Brian C. Lujan. We've got plenty more episodes this season, covering everything from AI mental health disasters to algorithmic discrimination in hiring to the next wave of digital employees and what they'll ruin next. But today was about the most basic and most maddening behavior. Chatbots that can't take criticism and make things worse trying to fix it. New episodes drop every Tuesday, wherever you get your podcast from. And remember, don't let a chatbot finish your sentence or your thought.